Yeah, welcome back. Today in the video I'm doing one of my things. Actually, we might mention of the spirits. So what I decide to do is to summon a lot of things at different timings to get multiple pluses and just rush your opponent down. So we start with Ferma because passive has a spirit and in uncheck the evidence. When you cost 3 or only from the spirits, you can draw one card from your bottom of your deck. This gives you a lot of value because the majority of the list is at least cost 3 and higher for all the little clouds, which means every summon is a draw, so it replaces itself, so it's pretty good. And its on-attack effect is the main way you gain counters, which is you get 2 counters on attack if you summon 2 times or more this turn, as in 3 times or more this turn, you can return your opponent abilities from the deck bottom. Now, the second skill isn't as important as the first, so we'll be focusing on the first skill to flood the board to give us enough hand so that we can rush down the hall. Now, the new Q.E.D that just came out, when it happened, you can pick back 2 yellow cards from your trash to your hand, which means you can grab back your spirits, you can grab back your magic. Basically, as long as it's yellow, it's a valid target. And during your next play, you have summoned 4 or more times this turn, neither player can use cards with odd numbers to their hand or remove zone, and this effect cannot be prevented by opposing effects. So what this does is that it stops the judgment package, because the judgment package is mostly 7. Over judgment and judgment, they are both 7s, so they can't be used against Q.E.D when you have no life, which is great for going wide and punching in. So for the scenario where we can go for one punch strategies instead, we still run our 2 copies of that 0. So basically we have 1 to 2 outs, which is the 1 punch combo or the go wide combo, or more rather go wide strat. Because Ferma Serum has an effect that when you summon 4 more times this turn, this spirit gains 4 symbols. Additionally, if you have 10 counters or more during this turn, your opponent cannot use even cost cards from their hand open. So similar to Q.E.D, it stops your opponent from playing defensive spells. The only difference is this one stops the odd numbers while Serum stops the even. Q.E.D stops the odd numbers, Serum stops the even numbers. Means if you have both on the board, which is possible because Q.E.D is a reverse contract weapon that doesn't use your soul bond, instead you can use your opponent's soul bond or their account. So this is very easily achievable now that we run 2 Ferma instead of 1. Now we have green XV, the yellow XV for PS64, which has a Mirage effect or 2 Mirage effects actually. So during your main step, once per turn, once per turn, you can pay 1 cost to summon your Ferma from your hand, soul state, or pre-added condition. So this helps you with an additional summon count towards the 2 serums, and getting the extra count outside of Ferma's on the deck effect is very good. Now the flash effect during set allows you to summon green from your Mirage area when your opponent controls an access. So this is any flash timing or your main step, because flash without any timing can be used in your main step, which is great. And the fact that he's 5-4 means he's coming out for 1 cost and most of the time. And his on-summon effect is for each opposing Nexus and Mirage, you can return an opposing spirit order with printed effects to the hand. So basically you can not wipe your opponent with green, or at least clear the front row, because a lot of decks now run a lot of back row and Mirages, so it's very easy to clear boards with that on-summon effect, especially when you can do it on your opponent's turn as well. So being partially a defensive card while pushing your Ferma is very good. Next we run 3 Fibonacci, this very wonderful capital as a card once per turn on summon effect. If you summon 2 or more times this turn, you draw 1 card. And if you summon 3 or more times this turn, you can gain 1 call from birth of your life. So this replenishes your hand and replenishes your HP, which is kind of what you want in this deck, so that you can go for wider boards. And when attacked, you can give an opponent with minus 5k. When it's bought to 0, you can return it to the bottom of the deck. And this spirit refreshes as well. If you summon 2 or more times during this turn, this will be effective it's 2 more times. So you can have this target 3 separate things for 5k, sending them to the bottom of the deck and refreshing. Or you can hit 10 and 5, or you can hit 1 giant 15k spirit, which is good against Strike Worm, because Strike doesn't have yellow armor, so this can sort of deal with it if you summon 2 or more times this turn, which is great. Next we have the twins, Umaru and Romero. When summoned, including being in Soul State pre-elephant, if you have a Ferma, you gain 1 count and draw a card from deck bottom. If you have 4 counters or more, this spirit is treated as you summoned twice, because they are the twin sisters Umaru and Romero. So basically, she's a 1-card summon that treats as 2 cards, as 2 summons, so that it assists your Ferma Serum and Q.E.D to reach their win cons faster. And the level 2-3 when summoned, if you summon 3 or more times during this turn, and summoning or deploying any golden card family from your hand by exhausting the spirit, give that card a yellow reduction symbol. So what this means is that if your board is already really wide and you just summon Umaru and Romero, you can tap the Umaru and Romero to get you like another thing down for free. Like Fibonacci is 4 minus 3, Green is 5 minus 4. A lot of the cost 3s are 3 minus 2, which means with this effect you're basically making them free, which is great. Now we run the 2 plus levels because its overcount is an additional piece of disruption that makes your opponent's cards in hand become cost 6, or at least all the magic cards in their hand become cost 6, and in their open zone as well. So that means their magics are harder to cast, and you can go for the Q.E.D 1 punch. Oh well, no, Q.E.D is rushing B, but making their cost higher means they have to pay more to stop you. And for Serum, it's basically 1 punch. It also has an on advent and attack effect to gain counters, so that's another way that Ferma can gain counters as well. I was considering the Judgment advent in this list, but it's a bit slow, and with Reen, we can be spawning Ferma very easily out in the Soul State. So I don't think we want more advents, we want stuff we want to throw out with effects so that we can get both the Serums live. We also run 2 Spritzers and 1 Mark 6 because they can be summoned during your turn or your opponent's turn by paying very little cost. Spritzer needs your opponent to open a burst, which is very common, and for Mark 6, of course, it's meant to solve your mirror matches because Q.E.D exists, and sometimes disrupt other decks, like Check, because Check's final form, Poetic Check, is a non-advent effect, so you can technically stop it, sort of, unless they decide not to use it when they do it on their main step. So that's the only out they have. Sometimes they get greedy with other things, you can use the Mark 6 to stop. Now for the other support, we run 3 Marikazo. It's a 3 minus 3 kitty that once per turn flips your opponent's top deck and gains you count for every 3 costs that card has. So if you're lucky, it can give you about 3, 4, if your opponent ever runs any 12 costs, 9 to 12 costs. But on average you will get about 1 or 2 count, because a lot of stuff this era is at 3 to 6 at best, unless you're flipping up final forms, like in the mirror, if you somehow make a mirror. So yeah, it's on the attack effect also draws you a card at level 2, so that's nice. Now the Arcana this beast, Loud Dawn, on summon hard once per turn. If you control a Ferma, you can summon it costs 4, there's Golden Cloud Family Spirit card from your hand without paying cost. So basically what you can do is you have Battle summon the Twin Sisters, that's 2 summons, and then if you have 4 Counter Sisters, you make it the second and third summon of the turn. And then you can exhaust it to summon 1 more thing with 1 extra reduction symbol. So it could be a Marikato, could be a Fibonacci. Most of the time I think it would be Fibonacci. You can also get Reen out, or you can get another format out depending on how you feel like. So it's really nice to have. Its on attack also gives something minus 5k if it hits 0. Send it to deck bottom. If you summon 2 or more times this turn, you draw a card. So a lot of the times, this plus whatever you're gonna summon fulfills the level 2, which is great. It's 1 for 1. If you have Ferma, it's like 1 for 2, which is what this deck wants. And we run 2 copies of the Magician Penton to stop excess effects and Groundwalker excess effects, just in case we ever see Groundwalkers again. And it's very easy to fulfill the 2 summon condition for the Penton. That's why it's in here. Although occasionally I would rather much have Mizuwa, because that is a straight up hook. Your opponent doesn't have anything until that starts. We also have just calculated the magic card that lets you summon any cost 1 to 5 Golden Cloud Family Spirit card from your hand or draw a card. And it targets ultimates by giving them minus 3k BP and return it to the hand when their BP reaches 0. So it's something to consider very rarely, but the minus 3k can win you games to a certain extent. But mostly it's here for the extra summon. Like you only have like 2 symbols on the board, but you want to get a read out as cheap as possible. Or something else of sorts. Or you need to draw into something for some reason that this deck doesn't draw you anything. So yeah, we run 3 Lavi decks. The same reason that Spritzers and Mark 6 is here, because once you gain count to above 2, he comes down for 1 cost, gives you a core, and draws you a card, so it replenishes itself. For core wise and hand size wise, it's a rainbow symbol. Your hand is unaffected when your hand is 6 or less, so that's something to consider as well. And at 5 counters, you can send life to void when attacks at level 3. So it's an additional way to rush B at 5 count, or if you're at 7 count and you have Serum, and you somehow have a Lavi deck already on the field, you can use the Lavi deck to swing it 7 life to void, and then your opponent can't really use the important hand traps like the Judgment in certain other lists that run Judgment, very commonly Rod, Oboro, and occasionally Brick. Keyword is occasionally. So for Nexuses, we run 3 Wing Ruins, because on summon of your Golden Cloud Family Spirits, you can gain 1 counter draw card. So you either replace the card, or you draw, or you gain an extra count, which is kind of what you want, because we're summoning a lot of times in a turn. However, this is soft once per turn, which is great. It means if you have 3 copies, you can accelerate yourself a lot faster, although not ideal to have all 3 on the board at the same time, because guts exist. So something to consider when you want to put down more than 1 if you're in that matchup. Last but not least is the Judgment package. 2 Judgments and 2 Over Judgments, because of course, being the aggressive list that we are drawing enough cards that we don't need to run so many decks. So in total we have 10 decks actually, so it's only 1/4 of the list. 4 of them being defensive and the other 6 being extenders for the list, so you can achieve your Q.E.D and Serum aggressive strat. So I hope you guys like this deck profile. If you guys like what you see, do hit that like and subscribe and ring that bell as well so you can get notifications when I make these beautiful deck lists. If you guys want to download Vessel, I have a instruction video down in the description along with a Google Doc that teaches you sort of step by step how to get everything done and how I set up my Vessel as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you again soon. Jane!